the time of filming this, which is March 2025, if you want to get a studio apartment in New York City, be able and willing to shell out $3,534 a month. Most of us can't really afford that, right? So what options do you have if you want to go to New York, but you can't shell out your entire month's income? You do van life. And I'm gonna help you do it, okay? Because if I could do it, you can do it too. And I'm gonna share with you exactly what I did, how it worked, and everything that you need to know from someone who has done it. Let's go. I should have started the video out this way. Anyways, okay, so quick little backstory. I won't bore you too much. 2019, finished college, moved to New York. 2020, pandemic happened, and I lost my job because the job disintegrated. It does not exist anymore. 2021, I started van life very cheaply. It was a very shoddy rendition, but I was like, I don't care. I just want to see the US, and by golly, did I. And it ignited my love for van life and living cheaply and not giving into, oh, well, there's only rent. No, there's not. So remember 2019, how I lived in New York? Well, I made a lot of friends there, and I was like, oh, I miss them so much. So I got a sublet there for 3 months, and oh my gosh, my life will never be the same because of those 3 months. If you're watching this video and you were one of my roommates, love ya. I'm scarred. But I had my van, which was still in the van life mode. Like, I didn't redo it on the inside, so I was like, you know what? I could go home right now, or I can see about this van life and let's just like try it because, you know, I don't want to spend my life in what ifs. I hate what ifs. Let's just try it. I tried it, fell in love with it, and I was able to have so much more of a social life. I was able to go out to parties and concerts and, I don't know, get food from restaurants that I had never been able to get before. Now, I was making less than $1,000 per month in 2022, which I know is like crazy. I had money set aside from savings, and if you guys remember the stimulus checks, and I was getting unemployment because my job literally disintegrated. I spent all that money towards van life, and I saved it for now, for when I was trying to find a job. At that time, I was only doing ABBA, but I was their substitute singer, so I wasn't playing all the time, but I was playing just enough to live, which was nice. And I was trying to apply to other jobs, but anyways, the job market, if you've been applying to jobs since 2020, anytime between now and then, you know, it sucks. It's awful. I was able to live a socially rich life, and at the end of the pay period, you know, when I have to pay back my credit cards, I looked at the bill, and the bill was the same amount as my rent that I was paying, like the sublease. Like, what? But here I am in my car, and I wasn't moving it because I was living in Van Life Alley at the time, which, like, hats off. I would take off my hat, but I got the little mic here, and I don't want to ruin anything. Hats off for Van Life Alley, which no longer exists, but you can totally look it up, and it was a van lifer's dream. There was no street cleaning for parking, so you could just leave your car there the whole time, and there was other van lifers too, so there was a little bit of community. You got to know your neighbors if they stayed as long as you did, but people were in and out of it all the time. It was amazing in Williamsburg. I really do miss it. I lived there for 2 years, and it was nirvana, I tell you what. And so I've been going back and forth from family home, from Florida to New York for the last 3 years, 4 years now. Anyways, under 5 years. And it has been so much fun. It's been so rewarding. My career has literally, like, increased since being able to be in New York. Because listen, I love New York. I love the people. I love how fast it goes. I love how everything, like, everything and anything that you want to do is there. At least for me as an artist. But I can't, like, I'm not at the point where I can justify, nor I just don't want to pay the rent. Like, I can't justify it after doing van life. I have this in my mind now. And when I talk to it with other people, people are like, kind of scared for me. And I'm like, you don't have to be scared. Like, what? It's, until you actually do it, you realize, if you do it smartly, of course, which we're going to get into. That's the whole thing. You have to do it smart. You can't be a bobo, the clown, the fool, doing van life in New York City, of all the places, okay? But once you know how to do it, you'll probably be like me, and you're like, why would I pay rent? Like, yeah, it might be more comfortable. It is more comfortable to have an apartment and everything is normal. Humans should live in houses and apartments, not their cars, I believe. But if you just want to, like, try it out and see if New York living is for you, I think this is a great way to do it. Or if you've been like, I don't know, everybody in my life has been telling me that New York is this, that, and the other, which I gotta say, please, hear it from me. If you've never been to New York and your only idea of New York is what you see on the news, I would say stop. Talk to someone who's actually lived there. Get their experience. And that should inform you more than people trying to fearmonger or be like, because what makes the news? Newsworthy stories. They're not always telling about the positive things. They're not always talking about the good that's going on there. They only tell the bad because that's what gets people's attention. It's news. News, they're just trying to grab onto your emotions, make you watch it, because that's how they get their money. So please, if you're afraid of New York because of what you saw online in the news section, I'm going to encourage you to stop. Okay, let me put that there. Ta-da! Okay, first things first. What are your rights? Okay, listen, I learned how to handwrite when I was homeschooled, so if you don't like it, talk to my mom, okay? Because she was like, I can read that. What are your rights? Dude, I had tried looking this up online. I could not find anything. So if you're one of those people, commenters, that can actually find the law, please add it in down below. But my understanding is there's no actual law about living in your van in New York City, nor like sleeping in your van, because you know, maybe you're gonna have a wild night out and you don't want to cause a ruckus on the road, so you just sleep in your van, and then when you're sobered up, you drive home. There's a lot of laws like that around town in the country. But for New York, I couldn't find anything. It's just like common sense law, I would say. And what I would understand from living there, it's like, don't stay in one place too long. Don't make a mess where you're parking, be respectable, and don't draw attention to yourself. As long as you do those things, you'll be fine. But as of, again, March 2025, there's not really a set law, which thank God, because listen, even van lifers aside, people who willingly want to live in their van, if you lose your job in New York and you're making like 10K, have a like, I don't know, 6K apartment rent, and you lose your job and you're probably thinking you're gonna have that job all your life and maybe you don't have the savings, or maybe you run out of savings, where are you gonna go? You, like, people go into their car sometimes to just like, you know, go through the hardships. If they make car dwelling illegal in New York City, of all places, it's kind of like you're being set up to fail because everything is so expensive there. So that's my 2 cents, my 10 cents now because of inflation. But what's next? I'm gonna number these. This is my first time doing this type of video, so please don't be mean to me. I am learning alongside you. So number 2, before you go, I'm making that like a, wow, can you even read this? Hold on. Is that legible? Okay, leave me alone. Before you go, this is what you need to know. Please get out your pen and paper because this is the point where you need to be taking notes. Number 1 is safety in your car. Your car, duh, is your home, so you need to like actually lock it and take, you know, precautions in order for any scenario that could happen, may happen. It has not happened to me. Knock on wood. I have not been broken into. I've never had someone come up to my car, ever, because I made sure that it does not look like someone's living in my van from the outside. I made sure any modifications I did were discreet and made it not stand out. Because as soon as you stand out, you become a target. So, are you guys taking notes yet? What does this look like? Well, for me, and for you, I hope, it's internal locks. Basically, wherever the door in the body of the car overlap, drill a huge hole. When your car door closes, those 2 holes overlap, and then you could put one of those big, I don't know the word right now, spring rockets, just like a piece of metal in there. So if someone's able to, you know, mechanically open your car, they will still not be able to open it. I highly suggest it. It gives me so much peace of mind sleeping, especially in cities, to have this type of mechanism in my van. And here's the great news. It's basically free 99. I'm assuming you can borrow and or have a drill and a drill bit, screw gun and a drill bit. Don't come for me. I know all the songs Home Depot band, okay? And then those little pieces of metal, spring rockets, I don't know what they're called, nor do I not care. I just know I do care a little bit. There's eye sockets, I'm pretty sure. Eye sockets cost like less than $3, so you don't have to shell out a whole lot of money to feel safe. All your windows, they need to be covered. They need to be covered. I suggest going to Michael's and or any other craft supply and getting black foam, cutting it out to your window. And if you're in New York, I would just like permanently glue it on there, because you don't want fabric, you don't want anything that shines. Because if someone was able to put, per se, a flashlight up to your car and they see a shiny fabric, guys, they're gonna know someone's in there. But if it reflects and it's like mattish, that kind of gives off the same effect as tinted windows. Also, if you don't already, I highly suggest getting an Apple AirTag. Don't bother with those other GPS ones that are cheaper, because if you look online, they're actually subscription based. So just don't get a Tile 2, because that's only in a short radius comparable to the Apple AirTag. So get an Apple AirTag, so if you're out and about, you can like look at your car, see it's still in the same place. Or if, unfortunately, hopefully not, if you get towed, you're gonna know where your car is, because New York City, if your car is gone and that's your house, where are you sleeping that night? You have to know where it is. And also just like the peace of mind you get is unfounded. Also, I would suggest, if you don't already, you probably do, to get quick fixes like an electric tire pump, a car scanner, so if your engine light comes on, you can immediately know what the heck is going on in your car, and the car jumpers that are able to work on themselves. You don't have to like plug it into something. You never know what's going to happen, and New York City, unless you have a good relationship with people and or there happens to be a friendly person on the side of the road to help you out, you're on your own. And it's going to be way more cost effective right now having these items than going out to seek them. And also, you're probably going to be in an area that, per se, if your car's not working and it's so far away, it's going to take you like hours and hours to get to like an auto zone. Trust me, I've done it and it's awful. Also, it's not legal, and I'm not saying to do it, okay? So don't take my advice. But for me, I've always carried one of these beautiful guys in my car. It's not legal in every state, and I don't bring it out all the time. But if this is the deciding factor between me being alive and dead, I'm gonna keep it. So I'm not advising you to get it. Also, if you're in New York, you cannot order it online to you. So you would have to bring it into the state illegally. Don't do it. I feel safe with it. Hey, hubba, let me tell you what. Okay, but now that we got the fun stuff out of the way, we can get to the real fun stuff, which is when you get to New York. Is that good? That was my first try. Now, when you get there, there's a lot of people online that would tell you, this place is safe, this place is safe. Explore. If you've never been there, obviously don't go to places that people say not to go. Maybe you feel safe there. Go to the places where you feel safe and stay there. Your intuition will be your saving grace anywhere, especially New York. This is where the news actually comes in handy, because New York City is huge and crime is happening everywhere, but it's happening in more places than other, like anywhere else in the world. So what you can do, and what I do for literally any city that I've never been to, because I don't know, I'm like Pollyanna. I'm just like, hey, what's up? I'm here to live life, and people will take advantage of that. Point being, when you get to New York, or before you get to New York, I would just suggest looking up where the crime is mostly happening, and don't go there. Okay? That's it, okay? Where there's families, where there's, good vibes, park there. And there's also a lot of blogs, a lot of YouTubers who also will tell you the great places, exactly where to park. They also said Vanlife Alley, and that's no longer with us, so it changes, but where you feel safe is where you should go. Another thing you should know, this also goes in before you go, you should understand street parking. I'm not going to explain it. No, I'm going to put it down below. I'm going to link a video immediately. The first thing that you see will be a link to understanding street parking, because it's simple, but also, and here's the thing. Here's a fun fact. Your car will probably, I would say 95% of the time, will not get towed if you leave it when street cleaning is going on. You will get, at the moment, I believe it's a $65 fine. But get this, if you leave your car for like a year in the same place and you get all those fines, guess what? It's still cheaper than parking in a garage. So some van lifers do not move their car. But you need to know how that works, because every street does have it. Some street parking happens twice a week, and some places only happens once a week. Those once a week spots, gold. So you just have to remember to move your car out of the way Sunday from like 3 to 5, and you put it right back, and you don't have to worry about it. It's great. And I guess that brings us to the point where people are like, is it free to park in New York? Yes, you just have to move your car for them to be able to bring their little street sweepers. And then once that passes, they can't come around and do it again. So make sure your car is not physically there during the time, during that hour slot or 2 hour slot. But also, people are like just in their car and they go and leave with it. So I don't know, just watch that video. Also be aware of barnacles. That's really popular in Manhattan, to my understanding. I've never gotten a barnacle or like a boot before, but just be aware that's a real thing that happens a lot. I don't know what justifies it. I just think it's in Manhattan. So don't park in Manhattan. I personally park in Brooklyn near parks. Wait, before I even get into this, let me put it on. This is the next part, okay? We lost our way, but that's still legible. Where to actually park? You would have to pay me big money to park overnight in Manhattan. Some people do it. I don't feel safe in any part that's not in Long Island, aka like the Brooklyn area. My favorite place to park was Vanlife Alley. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. We already talked about it. But now I park off of McCarran? I don't know. McCarran Park. It's like this, okay? I could put up a map, but I don't want to. So there's like parking all around the edges, of course, right? But also traffic, these are roads. There's roads within the park. It's not like a park and there's no going through it. McCarran Park is huge and has several streets going through it. And those, you can all park on either side. And so this is where a lot of the van lifers are currently. As of last year in 2024, I haven't been this year. I usually go in the fall. It's great because it's all park, right? It's all nature and trees. You're not in front of any establishment, and people aren't really hanging out on the streets here. It's very a transitionatory area, so you'll be fine. So you just feel safe. There's no like lollygaggers around in Williamsburg. I mentioned it earlier, but also I would not advise to park in front of apartment doors or like stores because that's going to have a lot of foot traffic, especially if you're in your car during the day. I was only in my car during the nighttime because I was out and about during the day. I would not park in high foot traffic areas. I would park in front of like, per se, like a huge wall. If there's no doors, huge wall, put your van right there. If there's like a parking garage, park to the side of it. Anywhere there's not like a door with a business or an apartment complex, you will be golden. And like I said, the less foot traffic, the better, because when you're getting in and out of your car, you don't really want to be seen. You just want to be able to look out the window, the side window, right? And be like, is anyone coming? Good. And get out. Like, obviously people are going to still see you, but lessening the chance means lessening people realizing like, oh, I think they're in their car, which I gotta be honest, New Yorkers don't give a flying bird that you're a van lifer. They got bigger things to worry about. Like everyone's so consumed in their own life that they can't really stop and ask questions, unlike a small town or anywhere else that's not a city, I find. You can get away with being seen in your van. Some people don't give you a flying crap either. They'll like, go in and out. And maybe your car is already noticeably a van life van. So there's no being stealthy about that. I digress. I don't know how to spell this word. I know that's not how you spell it, but I just went with it. Amenities. Another benefit of parking next to a park is that they usually have a public bathroom, a public water spout, a water fountain, for spout, what is this? And trash. So you're able to do upkeep with those types of things straight from your front door. It's great. And there's so many other people too there that you going to put something in the trash is not like, hey, no dumping here. They don't know. As long as you don't have like this huge like lad bag of trash, you're fine. Which in your van, I'm assuming that you don't have space for that anyways. For showers, I had a Planet Fitness membership. Now, given Planet Fitness around the country are usually the most prestigious and like they're very clean and wide and has a lot of space. Planet Fitnesses in New York City and other cities too are like the lowest ranking gyms in the whole vicinity because they're able to have Equinoxes there. They're able to have Crunch and Blink Fitnesses, which are a bit nicer, a bit more pricier. Planet Fitness memberships are fine, but you might have to shop around for the one that you're going to be going to the most. Also, if you have tech, laptops, and other stuff that needs charging, I would just go to a cafe and sit there and work while your laptop and other gear charges. I would bring in my small Jackery to this one cafe, put it in like a big bag so it didn't look like I was bringing in a solar generator, and I would spend probably like 5 hours there just charging everything. And I would be good for like a day or two, and I would go back, but it's okay because I was working remotely. I wasn't wasting time. Believe it or not, there are cafes that have loyalty memberships. I don't have mine. But it's like little punch cards, and if you get like 8 coffees, you get the 9th one free. I would frequent those. And if you're friends with the baristas or you make friends with them, sometimes you get free coffee. Also, if you have a credit card, there are credit card cafes in cities mostly. Like Capital One has one, and you get discounted prices on your coffees. So there's lots of ways to save money and be smart in the city. food? What do you do for food? Okay? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Trader Joe's is now your new friend. I know, it's like one of the more expensive grocery stores anywhere else in the country, but in cities, Trader Joe's is actually the cheapest option. And then I'm gonna sidebar, like, it's so sad when you're so used to Trader Joe's food and then you go to a different city and then it's like, oh, this is actually expensive. And then you have to, like, give up that routine of Trader Joe's or eating the way you're used to eating with Trader Joe's. But Trader Joe's is the cheapest option in my experience. There are Aldi's, but they're sparse. You could drive to it like once a week, maybe twice a week if you really plan out your meals. And that is like cost effective, but also the amount of gas you're going there. So if you can make it work, you can make it work. But it's really strange how much of a difference food is, like how much more expensive grocery shopping is in New York City compared to everywhere else. It's like, how do people do it? I don't know. It's crazy. You're used to it when you live there, but when you're out of it, you're like, wow, man. Also, bodegas. Bodegas are those little corner delis that's like, get your sandwiches, get this here. Those are your best friends. You'll get your food fast, fresh, and it's normally the cheapest thing. So if you're like hungry and you need something like as you would fast food, hit up a bodega, give them your business, get something incredibly delicious and handmade. I don't know, it's like, I wish we had bodegas here, but we just have pub subs, okay? So this is like really it. That's like what I would advise people to do getting ready to live in New York City. Some questions. I'm a girl, and if I could do it, other girls too, if you're watching, you are able to do it. The thing is, you have to be on your game here more than you actually are. You have to be aware if someone is following you. You have to be aware if someone's waiting for you to come out of your car. Now, again, luckily this has never happened to me, but I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying like, I'm so smart because it's never happened. No, I just have not become a target. And I think one of the things that has made me not become a target for other people is because I have this, attitude when I'm out. My back's up straight, fully aware of everything. I'm not like, I'm not making myself smaller for anyone. I'm out, I'm proud, and I obviously am not going to take any shite from anyone. And that comes really from living in New York. I have this can-do attitude and you can't mess with me attitude because of my time in New York before Vanlife. New York does something to you that I have not gotten from anywhere else, and that is, like, you need to eat or be eaten. You need to stand up for yourself or no one's going to hear you. Whereas, like, I grew up in the South, in Florida, and usually we're taught to be small, meek, allow ourselves to get run over and be misunderstood and take it. Moving to New York, I brought that same attitude. And oh my gosh, like, I can't even tell you, a light switch and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to be like this. Like, this is actually making myself worse. I feel worse by making myself small. And this is not saying to make yourself big in order to punch down. You're making yourself big so no one takes advantage of you. Okay? Like, that's like it. That is it. If you're assuming anything else from the words I'm saying, that's all on you. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? You can be a woman and live in your van. There's a lot of people that do. Here's the other thing. You mostly see influencers that are in apartments. Hardly anyone that is a van lifer and a New Yorker. Usually, I would see people that are transitory, right? They like to come in, they visit, and they leave. Not like people who are living in New York in their vans full-time, have a job, have a life, and they do all this. There are so many people that do. And when I talk to my friends, they're like, Madison, like, that's so cool. You're like one of the few people. Like, oh, there are a lot more of us than you think so. It's just, we don't want normal people. We're all normal, man. We don't want the apartment dwellers to know about us because we want to be left alone. Now, here's the thing also. There are a lot of stupid people that do van life in New York, too. And I think that's one of the reasons that Vanlife Alley got canceled, actually, because when I left in November of 2024, there was this one guy, and if you're a van lifer, like, please, if you were living in Vanlife Alley, I need you to make yourself seen. There was this young guy who had, like, a bulletproof vest. Okay, number one, why? We're not in a war zone. I know New York can be scary. Ooh, EBGB. If you're dumb, don't be dumb. I'm getting off track. Young guy, always wore a bulletproof vest, and he had a German Shepherd. And we lived right next to that one park on the river. Apparently, he had his dog out and made some people mad, shouted at each other, like, told them, like, some pretty explicit stuff, apparently, and got the cops all called on us. And for what? For an emotional little child baby for not putting his dog on a leash. And I'm like, hey, guy, you can do that, okay? You have free will. This is, do whatever you want. Don't do it while you live in Vanlife Alley, because that's going to make everyone have their eyes on us. And now we're getting in trouble. We woke up with like, hey, notice, a police warrant on our windshield being like, police notice, you have got to move your car within 1 week or else we're going to come after you. And I'm like, I did nothing. What? So stuff like that, you have to be smart, because or else the whole village suffers. I'm pretty sure once I left, maybe that expanded on itself, and, you know, I don't know what happened to make the city go, okay, now we're actually going to do it, because it's been a long time that Vanlife Alley has been a thing. I don't know why they took action now. Maybe it was the time, or maybe it got spurred on from events like that. So when I say be smart, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not being like, general vague advice. I'm being like, this stuff happens, and it's from adults that you would think would have a handle on themselves. Also, another piece of advice, in New York City, you'll get the vibe. If you're like with it, you'll get the vibe that people don't really come up to each other and be like, hi, I see you parking there. There was this one guy that would stand outside of his van at night, and he would like watch people go by. And one time, I'm just like, another night, another van life night. I got myself a nice bodega burrito, and I had a show to watch, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this in the park. Why am I gonna watch this in my van? I feel safe. Whatever. I leave my car. I notice these eyes are on me, and I'm like, oop. I go to the park bench. I have my stuff down. This man comes into the park, like obviously looking around. Who's you looking for? I think myself. And guess what? I was right, because he passes by me. Meanwhile, I'm over here. Headphones. I have my show, and I'm eating. Okay? Do I look like the person you want to talk to? Do I look like I'm socially available? In New York, no. Maybe around the country, because, you know, humans are humans. That free game, I guess. But it's like, lovely weather we're having, right? And I look up and I go, yeah. I look back up down my thing. And then he comes by again. And I'm like, I'm starting to feel unsafe, because what do you want with me? I'm over here, no-go zone. Anyways, it's stuff like that. It's like, guys, please. I'm afraid I'm getting off topic. Okay, one thing I gotta say, because we talked about all the topics, right? But I want to end with, you have to take care of yourself. Listen, if you want people to know you live in a van, great, do it. But for me, I don't want people to look at me and go, she lives in her van. What does that take? Hygiene. You have to take care of yourself. You have to wear clean clothes. You have to, oh, that's another thing. Laundromats, they're everywhere. You don't have to worry about it. Have clean clothes. Make sure your hair is washed, or get dry shampoo. Dry shampoo is your best friend. I would use cornstarch because it's much more cost effective. It's not aerosol too, so it's not gonna like make you choke in your car. Clean appearance, look put together, and also take care of your skin, because your skin will weather. In van life, the first year I did van life in New York City and I did not take care of my skin, I like aged. My skin was getting leathery, which I know I'm young and I have collagen in my skin still. You're making it up, darling. No, it was like bad. I was like, who am I? And it's because, you know, I have the ventilation open and the cold night air would get in, and I wasn't washing my face because I was like, I don't got time to do that. I gotta wake up and go. So, you gotta take care of yourself. Then you'll look normal. I say that and it's like, duh, but when you're doing it, you'd be surprised at the characters you're gonna meet doing this. And I hope that you do. Like, just do it for a week. Or there's a lot of time investment to just do van life for a week. But if you already have a van and you're passing through New York, stay there. Stay there for a few days. It's like, I tell you what, I felt more safe doing van life in New York City than I have in a handful of places in the West Coast. Even like BLM land and Walmart parking lots, is because people don't give a flying fudge in New York. Yeah, there's a lot of crime. Yeah, there's opportunistic people. But if you were to sit on a park bench and watch people go by cars, parked cars on the street, people are not like, what's in there? What's in there? Because they know they're gonna get called out or like be creeped on, or like, you know, like, hey man, what's wrong with you? People stay in their lane. They have their headphones on. And they just go to where they need to go. There's hardly anyone loitering about. And if they are, you're definitely not going to be a target because you are safe, and before you go, you made sure your van was safe. Yeah, I just think everyone should do van life in New York City because it's like such a cheat code. Being able to go to thrift stores and buy the leather skirts because you're like, I don't have rent. This is my rent. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. This is purely by my experience. I cannot speak for other people's experience. If you have done van life in New York City, please leave it down below. I would love to learn or hear from other people who have done the same thing as I've done, because everyone has a different experience. Luckily, mine has been pretty good. I think the most awful thing that happened to me is my battery died and I didn't get it charged, and it got to the point where I couldn't get into my car because it was all electric based, the unlocking and locking. And so when I couldn't unlock my car, I was physically stuck outside of my car. That led to a whole fiasco. But other than that, it's been great. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to take some writing courses because I don't know how to spell amenities.